Hey guys, this is Ron. Do you like movies?
Hey guys, this is Ragnar. Do you like alcohol?
Hey guys, this is Stu. Do you like punishments?
Hey guys, this is Chase. You want to hear me get alcohol poisoning?
Hey guys, this is Lenny. Ever wonder what a spicy boner is? If so, come on down to Barrel Age Flicks and give us a listen.
This show is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find the other great shows on the network, head over to the deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Deluxe Edition. I am your host, Casey Shearer. Joining me, as always, Ray, the podcaster.
How we doing today, Casey?
Good, Ray. How are you, brother?
Fantastic.
Good, man. We're going to get right into this episode. Hopefully, a lot of people will learn about vintage clothing today. We talked to a good friend of mine that I've known since grade school, James Wolfe, better known as Arsenio Hall on Instagram, Haul. But before that little chat, let's just do the plugs quick. You can find all of our previous shows over at deluxeedition.show. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Deluxe Edition Pod. You could support the show by going to whatamaneuver.net/collections/deluxe-edition or go to our YouTube channel and join our channel there. I think it's $7 a month, and I'll send you the shows immediately as soon as we're done recording. You could go to Patreon to support the show as well, patreon.com/deluxeeditionpod, and make sure you go over to the Deluxe Edition Network at deluxeeditionnetwork.com. And the podcast of the month this month is Horsing Around. My friends over at the Red Horse Hair Salon in Temple, Pennsylvania. It's like going in to get your hair cut and just chatting with a bunch of your friends. They're hilarious. Definitely check them out. Ray, your plugs, please.
I am the host of 10 Cent Beer Night Podcast. You can find me on Instagram, wasting my time making posts, or Facebook. And if you want to support that show, you can go to TeePublic and buy some of my T-shirts, or a coffee mug, or a pillow.
Absolutely. Yeah, Ray's got a bunch of cool stuff, and the T-shirts are very comfortable. Check it out. Before we get into the show, I am going to let everyone know that Turnpike James was having some technical difficulties with his microphone. It was a little glitchy. I'm going to do my best at editing. As we're recording this right now, it hasn't been done yet, so I can't say how it will turn out, but I'm going to do my best, so I'll just leave it at that.
If it doesn't turn out good, then we'll just re-record it, and then I'll say all his parts in his voice so that it's all nice and clean.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect. All right. Here is our chat with Arsenio Hall.
Heyo.
Heyo.
There we go.
Okay.
What am I calling you today?
I don't fucking care. It's your podcast. You call what? Gonna use it for your regular shit, right?
Yeah. Are you getting that like jump on your end, Ray?
Yeah, he's jumping. I don't know what it is, but
I don't know what it is either.
Is that like fancy podcast talk for strong?
yeah, it's fancy talk for you look like Max Headroom with a little bit of a glitch thing happening.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a little glitchy, so we'll have to work around that. But thank you for joining us, buddy. It's good to see you. So before we started here, you told me that you had some rituals that you were doing. What? Tell us about your rituals, your podcasting rituals.
they're not like podcasting rituals, just daily rituals. It's like I don't know. I don't since I closed the shop, kind of like worn a path in my house. Like through the kitchen, stand in the dining room, out back, smoke a cigarette, come back in, put your phone on the charger. So that was it, pretty much. Me saying doing is just a fancy way for me saying, let me smoke 3 cigarettes in the time that someone made me smoke 1, pretty much. That's all.
So you mentioned your shop. You had a shop, a vintage shop. before COVID happened. You had
and for
it
short
was
time, like in the beginning too, that shit sucked.
Void Vintage. I've
Yeah.
always been kind of curious about this myself. Like we've been friends since high school and grade school and all that stuff, but we never really, when we hang out, we just like fucking shoot the shit and bullshit and make fun of each other and make fun of fucking other people. But like we never actually talk about personal shit. How did you get into the vintage game?
The vintage game. It's so funny to hear people say that. Honestly, because it looked super, and then I started doing it, and it was a shitty thing to say, but I didn't want to work a real job, so I had quit my real job after working there like 10 years because the day I went in, I was like, this shit sucks. It is the worst. I do not want to work for someone. And it just made me feel like shitty at myself. So I quit that. But before I quit that, for a year or two during my work, I would fucking drive around, was supposed to be working, and hit thrift stores and like buy tons of shit. And I was like 12, 13, 14, like that. So I would say income with shit I found while I was working by like listing it on eBay. And then it was like, well, if I do this all the time, I won't have to have a real job, So I figured out how to be able to shop for a living. It's fucking crazy because I love shopping. I don't know why. I just like doing it. My mom was always like a big shopper, and I hated being out. But when I grew up, it was fun. This makes you feel good buying junk I don't need, But then it's like a hack because you can sell it, and you're like, wait, I can buy this shit and then sell it for. Oh my god, it's amazing. So it was like in the beginning, it was just like super. Of course, there's always been like people, but there were a lot less people than now. Like brought out everybody, because nobody was working and everybody needed money. But yeah, it was super easy, and I just like knew what I was looking for, and no one was really buying like 90s t-shirts and 80s t-shirts at the thrift. And if they were, they weren't from all, I trucked around for a couple years. You were in my store. There was a lot of shit in that little, like so much shit. So I just amassed enough shit that I was like, yeah, let's open a store. It's the worst idea ever. This is terrible. It's terrible. You think you're going to be good at something just because you want to do it, and it was not something I was very good at.
Kind of like podcasting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I watched some of your stuff. I'm not as good as you, but that doesn't make it more entertaining. So not Ray, just Casey. I'm just talking to Casey here. Yeah, so I don't know. It was a really easy thing to do, and you could find shit for $1 and sell it for 100. Like what did we used to do? We used to do that with other stuff that would get us in trouble. So now you don't have to. It's like it's perfect. I came from like a back of wanting to take something for a little money and make it money. So it was pretty good, But now that shit sucks. Everyone's doing it, and I just list online, close my shop, and I'm happier for it. So
Well, where did you learn about the shit? Like, because I remember you're like, because with me traveling, you're always like, look for old shirts. I'm like, well, what am I looking for? Single stitch. Everything has to be single stitch.
so funny. That was years ago. Now everything's changed. You can have garbage now. It's so funny because like, fashion is weird. Like it changes so rapidly, and it changes with like the kids who are buying it most the quickly. It's like adults, you know what I mean? Sure, your fashion hasn't changed in 20 years. You're an adult. You don't really care, but things move so fast. So now the big thing is like Y2K, and it's all like the younger people, and they want like Y2K vintage, which is like shit that came out like after we were in high school. It doesn't make any, but it just goes with the generations. They want shit 20 years older. So when they're 20 or 25, they want garbage t-shirts with SpongeBob that they watch. Like we never watched that shit. It's funny to see like SpongeBob t-shirts selling for $75, $80, $100, depending on how old they are. It's like SpongeBob, who wants that?
you mainly would find your stuff like at where, like flea markets, Goodwills, stuff like that to start.
Yeah,
Right.
totally. It was the best because I was getting up so early, job that I hated, and then all of a sudden I'm getting up at the same time to go to flea markets and auctions and like estate sales and like it's just so much better. It's like a better feeling, you know. You're like hunting shit and getting over on people. It's that part I enjoy too, like the competitive aspect, because like I was the only one buying the shit out. There's a lot of people looking for. I don't just buy clothing. It's like toys and, you know, 80s, 90s or older collectibles and shit like that. It's not a secret.
Right.
But yeah, that's it. Yard sales, flea markets, thrift stores, and then any person who would take my phone number, I'll give my phone number to anyone because I'm sure got some old T-shirts, right? Like everyone got them, you know.
Yeah, everybody's got them. It's kind of like cassettes too. Like I got a shit ton of cassettes.
Do you?
And I start going through some of them. Like, I wonder what this is worth now. And some of them things can sell for like $75 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
For a cassette.
Crazy. So easy to look up too. They have like a scan on the back. You could just hit the camera thing on eBay. It's great.
That's another thing I wanted to ask you. So, like, we're gonna be all over the place here as we are on this show, but like, so you said that about eBay, selling stuff on eBay. So, like, if you buy something, let's say you buy, I don't know, like a rare old Grateful Dead T-shirt, and you go and you want to sell that on eBay, but you're the only you can't find another one like it. So,
That's
like, how do you come up?
In the industry, that's called a comp, you know, just a comparable listings like a car or whatever. But you just make up, or you auction it and you let whoever wants to buy it decide. Like that's what I prefer to do, because you can go on eBay and see 2,000 Grateful Dead shirts. Like no one's buying that shit, you know. Like that's offensive. A real Grateful Dead fan who would want that shirt for a sentimental reason. Like that price point is ridiculous. So, but they're, you know. You either do it long enough to be able to bullshit your price to people who think what you find is cool, or you just let the market figure it out. So that's like part of it too. You have to like do it long enough and be cool enough and good enough at to make people believe that, you know. And it's like any job. It's not like you're trying to sell them something fake, but like, you know, some other more popular vendors with shop like LA or New York City can take T-shirt that I would sell for 30 and sell it for 150 because of their market. You know, it's like
Where they are.
So, and not only that, just like who they are. Importantly, you know, there's a lot of like who they are in vintage, which is cool. Like people want to buy from big name people because they trust them and they're good at it. They've been doing it for a while. But then there's also like all these fucking 18-year-old kids like trying to sell the same shit and paints it a little bit and ruins kind of.
Right.
It doesn't happen so much with like tapes and stuff. I just see like old heads still trading them a lot. Like sell a lot of music. I'm not like good at it, but it's easy to find and it's easy to look up, you know, and it's easy to sell. Like so many people want a fucking Genesis tape, even though it's $15, you know. So
what's like the most popular stuff right now, like as far as vintage,
what, like clothing
that you're noticing, like the most popular stuff that's going right now?
Clothing wise, there's like a weird like what they call true vintage. It's like all these people who don't do any hard work, they want this like work was like either worn to work in mines or found in a mine. You know, the older the better. Like they have this denim festival where they sold the oldest pair of Levi's, right? They were from like the 1800s and they were found and they went for like 76 at an auction. It's like you care them, you know, at that point. It's like the
$76,000.
Yeah. And then with like auction juice or whatever, it was like 90 grand, you know, because you got to pay like the premium and buyer's premium and shit like that. But yeah, it was the oldest pair of Levi's to get sold. And then, I mean, we were like making jokes about it for a while, but it's, there's like a weird thing. the older denim, they want chore coats. They want like shit people worked in and got paid like a quarter an hour. No, and it's like these old Levi's chore coats from the 40s. It's like you find one of them, you just made $2,000.
What?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Well, that's funny. Have you seen that new show, The Bear? It's called, or
the restaurant one.
Yeah, the restaurant one.
Yeah, he's wearing some vintage in that, and
that's part of his gimmick. Like that's how he's making money on the side. He's selling like old vintage jean jackets.
Yeah. So there was like, I think the person who like provided the insight, I know through Instagram too. It's like, because
really,
it's all like New York City show, vintage weird, but that was pretty funny. You see how quickly like. In that show, it makes no sense for him to do that, know. But it's just like that generation. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I mean, I never thought that we'd be like selling our old shit at buy. It didn't seem like that would be our reality when we were working as a young person. Now they just make it so easy, but now it's getting more difficult. They're doing this weird thing where they're like requiring licensing, which makes no sense. But like these broad stroke companies, so like whoever is like fucking Garfield, their team of lawyers will put a thing across a selling platform, say like Depop or whatever, and they'll be like, you can't sell stuff unless you get agreement from the license holders. So it's like they want you to like get an agreement from fucking whoever owns the Simpsons to sell a Simpsons t-shirt. They're kind of like freezing things out right now, and it's getting a little weird. Every big old brand is selling vintage now. Like Polo has their own section, old clothing that they fucking from us sell.
Right. Well, yeah, strange. Like Target has a section where of shirts that look vintage. Like I bought one last week. It was a Led Zeppelin shirt. And the only I usually never buy that stuff, but the only reason I bought it was because it had my birthday was the date at the bottom.
The show date. They sucked you right in, man. They got your $12.99. You and a bunch of other people.
So quick. So you mentioned like celebrity. Like
let me ask. Do you like it? Have you worn it yet?
Yeah, I wore it on the show. Like I buy shirts, t-shirt. I have to fucking. Ray and I were talking about this on the last episode. I try to wear a new t-shirt every show. So like I have to. I got this from a good friend of mine.
I didn't even notice. That's a great one. I should have sent one for. What do you got on, a Browns jersey?
Yeah, I got my Browns jersey on today.
All right.
Yeah, Ray lives in Cleveland.
I should have put my Ray Lewis on.
Are you the guy who's got the white suit covered in blood?
Well, oh my goodness. I don't have that one, but I wish I did. Holy cow. I'm just a Ravens fan. At least you're not a fan. We could both say that.
That's true.
Is that a thing? Is that missing? Does someone have that?
So as the story goes, outside of a bar, on a night when Ray Lewis was wearing a all-white suit, someone in his entourage who's strong enough to gut a man from dick to chin murdered a man outside of a bar. One of Ray Lewis's friends took the blame for this, but I believe at trial they said that man is not strong enough to cut the dude as deep and as hard as he was cut. And everybody wants to know, Mr. Lewis, what happened to your white suit from that night? It's just fucking gone. It's fucking gone. Never be seen again.
The key piece of evidence.
Yeah.
Cut from balls to chin.
Yep.
Jesus
yeah, I don't have that one.
I bet you could make a fortune on that though.
Actually, wait. Give me 1 second. I might have that one. I saw it here the other day, and I was like, "Yo, why do I even have this?"
I wonder who has the glove, OJ's glove.
Oh, that's a good one too.
That's probably, I guess, locked up in evidence somewhere, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of cool things that you could probably sell if you could just get your hands on them.
Oh, yeah. I imagine some of the guests that we have talked to have some pretty cool memorabilia.
Like, I was just watching Two Bears, One Cave with Tom and Bert.
Yep.
and they always buy each other weird shit for their birthdays. So Tom just bought Bert Hitler's teacup for his birthday. It was so funny.
Here. I do have
Oh,
There it is.
Yeah, I got it. I knew I had it there. So, I mean, I found this at a yard sale, right? But it's on like an old 70s tag, and it's like a 70s t-shirt, and someone clearly like splashed blood all over it for their costume or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, oh, that's fucking. I can bully somebody and be like, that's an art tee, you know?
Yeah.
It's like this goes back to like whoever you pretend you are and believe it, you know, they'll buy whatever. But you say, I'm sure you guys had like some of the craziest merch guests on and you didn't even know it. Like,
oh yeah.
Ed Begley probably got some cool shit.
Oh hell yeah. Well, we talked to
Well,
Mark,
he's like
but-
green. He's kind of a nerd. He probably doesn't have the stuff, right?
Well, as far as
He
that,
doesn't
he
need
probably
junk.
like, because a lot of the like I've seen you've had jackets and stuff like that from like TV shows that they give like the
Well, like
they give
cast and
the
crew stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like as far as Ed, he probably has all of that stuff yet because he's not throwing anything away.
Really?
Yeah, unless
He's
he can
keep-
recycle it.
Maybe that's it. It's insulation in his wall of his cast and crew memorabilia. I'll always follow auctions, but the last good auction was oh, son of a bitch. Who the hell was it? It was a really famous comedian who died, and he had every single T-shirt from everything, and they all
Gilbert.
off. It wasn't Gilbert. It was like someone before him. God damn it!
Gilbert
I can't
had a
remember.
ton of stuff too.
Yeah, the Gilbert auction. I don't know if the Gilbert auction happened or not. I'll send you the video. My friend Perry did like a bunch of merch for him for his tours, and went like interviewed him at his apartment and gave him like a gift and shit, and was trying to get him to like give T-shirts. I know he got a bunch of cool ones like direct Gilbert that day. He had a lot of stuff, but an auction, and I was following it, and everything went high. It was just like groups of T-shirts that, you know, I can't remember who it was. It was he was on a bunch of television shows, but you should ask that. You should try to get a cool piece of memorabilia from each, make them pay up.
Make
Put
the
a bu-
guests pay us.
Yeah, but not in like money or anything, just memories and valuables.
Vintage stuff. I remember on the very first time that we talked to Mark Singer, way back when, he showed us it was a pistol, like one of the laser pistols that they used on V, the television show from back in the 80s. He told us he took that from the set.
Stole it?
Probably.
Nah, I just borrowed it.
So that's pretty cool. Is the hat you're wearing right now a vintage hat? Because the Reading, I know that's a Reading Phillies hat, but they're not called the Reading Phillies anymore. They're the Fighting
No.
Phillies.
This one is some guy was having a yard sale, or he was at a flea market or something, and you can always tell that they're like normies, and they're not like flea market professionals. And he had a ton of Reading Philly stuff, and he worked for them, and they were like player hats. So it was like a player issue. I got like 6 of them that I rotate through now. But it's cool because a bunch of them are steamed different ways, because, you know, like the players like want their hats like straight and shit. And then they have like numbers and names on the inside, but this one doesn't, I don't think. But yeah.
Oh. Going back to something you mentioned earlier about like haggling with the people, like people, you know, buying stuff. And I've been to a couple flea markets where you and I have set up together at flea markets, and that is like one of the best times ever. Is just fucking watching you deal with the people.
You think so? You enjoy that?
I love it, man. It's the best.
They all give you a quarter for something you want $1. It's the worst. It's like, depends on what flea market you're at and how much garbage you actually have. That was fun though. I remember me and you made a couple $100 in like 2-3 hours. Get the hell out.
Hell yeah. Get stoned as hell at fucking 4 a.m, get set
right.
up.
It's not something I really enjoy doing until I'm like there doing, you know, the idea of like having a shop and then selling at a flea market. Well, this is my life's become. Yeah, I just try to get a habit and just sell like maybe once or twice a year, so I'm not like relegated to just being that old dirty flea market guy. You know.
Do you ever see the guys at the flea market? Because everybody gets there early and they set up, and then they all just go around and buy each other's shit and then take it back to their place and sell it for more.
Yeah, it's like a whole ecosystem there, and the earlier you get there, the more like it's so funny. The guys lamps, and then they'll park their car at their spot and go whoever's open, and then set up their own shit. Like they know the different wave. It's like that the buyers who come later are willing to spend 25, maybe. So that guy will get it for 5 from and put it right on his table. I see that all.
I remember a couple times like setting up real early, the Leesport Farmers Market. It's like place near where we grew up, right? But like you said, guys will fucking come around before it's even light out and before the market's even open, shining the flashlight in your car. And it's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Come back when it's light out. I'm not open yet.
It's so weird. Like I try not to do that, but sometimes it just like takes over you, because you'll see like someone else at the corner of your eye, knowing who they are, wanting to buy what you want to buy. It can be competitive like that. And the other week flea market, these 2 older ladies were having a hard time. The one was with a cane, and she was like fat as shit. So I hope she doesn't hear this, but she probably knows she's fat. She was having a lot of trouble. I ended up tying her shoe right later in the story, but wait, so it's like 7 a.m. on the nose. It's like 30 fucking degrees, and they got like 2 cars backed ass to ass, and they're trying to like unload all these trash bags onto these like shitty tarps they have. And I see on the tarps that there's like a couple things that I would probably buy, so I like slink up, and they're like, very keen on me, like helping pull the bags out, and which never happens. Most of the people are annoyed. They're like, get the fuck away, let me at least set up. But those ladies were like old and not professional, so I ended up them dump everything. I felt like a scumbag. Bought like some crazy shit, and I made like a shitload of money. And then the next week they were like, I left them my phone number because I'm like, they're like, we have a lot more stuff. And that's, if I hear that, like me smelling blood, basically. They call me and they're like, we're going to be at the flea market. We got 2 more carloads. And I was like, you know what? Let's just save us all the trouble. I'll just come buy it all right now. I bought both carloads, like, and it was so much garbage. There's so much shit on my back, like on my back patio. Sorted it all, threw away and donated what was like salvageable that I didn't want, and then got like a couple of dead shirts, some bullshit. I got in pieces of clothing that I don't, just because I was like too much of an asshole to wait to see at the flea market. It's so addicting. You want to like buy as much as you can.
When you buy a load like that, and you like it is mostly garbage, what do you do with it? You just donate it right back?
Yeah, especially because I like don't really thrift around here as much anymore because it sucks. So everything that like sucks so bad, I'll get to the thrift that I know is the busiest, that everyone thrifts at. And I'm like, if I have to look through this garbage, you guys do too, Right. Hateful in a way, but I try not to throw the shit away. I'll just redonate it.
Sure. Well, like going back to the flea market scene, there's a distinct difference in people who are like trying to clear out like a garage or whatever. Like maybe those people, like they had like maybe they just cleaned out a garage and they just had all that shit and they just dumped it on a tarp. And then there's people there, like that's their living. Like that's what they do. Every week they're there. They have like a store that they come and set up every single week. Totally. And like some of them, most of them I feel really bad for, because there's no fucking way that they're making a decent living doing that.
You can't bad for them. They're choosing to do that. Like elaborate some of the setups I see at like shitty dirt mall flea market. It's the same people for the most part, and you never get anything good from those. You're always hoping for the person just cleaning out their garage who's like dad died and I don't want all this shit. I'll take $1,
Right.
and that's how I pay my mortgage. It's like kind of a way, but like you gotta gain the knowledge. Like, so it took me time to like gain the knowledge. It's not like I'll just buy anything for a fucking $1, but it
Sure.
seems that way lately. As you can tell, as you can see, you got a shirt covered in fucking blood for no reason,
Yeah, but like the scene has, like, I remember when you first got into it, like the scene has changed so much since you started. Like, there's so many, or maybe
Yeah.
it's maybe though it's just because I didn't know that it was a thing, I guess, before you were into it. But like all the different like meme pages and like, which we're gonna get into.
What
Like,
different meme pages? Only one
well, all
meme
the
page.
all the
page
ones
I
that are
recognize.
copying you.
I wouldn't say they're copying. There's like a couple different iterations. You can only do so much when you're niche, when your content is so niche, It's like copying isn't ring anymore. Everyone's fucking copying each other. Like, just because I saw someone's meme and I put the word thrift over a different word in it, like it's not like I think I'm like writing some amazing comedy. It's just like finding the opportunities where you can like snipe some easily. Because I'm not trying. I don't want to sound shitty here, but I'm like not trying to work hard at stuff.
Yes, I've known you for fucking 30 years or longer. I know that.
I don't want to work hard, So I'll like try to work a little mentally harder, but it's not like a hard thing to do. There's not a lot of other meme pages that anyone who's like good will each other, because if it's funny, you're like, shit, they got like 4,000 likes on that shit. Let me just copy it, kind of make it,
Right.
just like lean it towards my narrative a little bit for the best outcome.
You and I were talking about meme pages before. There's one, Fuck Jerry, that I follow. You were telling me they have like a whole team of people, like it's like a corporation of people work like doing that shit, right?
Yeah, that's like a company, whole entire thing. I mean, they have what, like multi followers, They're
Oh
like,
yeah.
fun. It's like a meme farm, pretty much. You just find like anything funny. I don't necessarily know exactly how many employees or people are in Fury, but it's fucking a lot. It's not like it's one nerd sitting in his room making jokes,
Right.
You have to be connected in a way on social media. You can't really like blow up. It doesn't work like that, I mean, it's like how many times have you posted and got fucking 9 likes? It's just like
Or
I'm not
zero
being
fucking likes.
Yeah.
I'm not being a dick. It's just like the pool is so full. Like the saturation is like what makes you stand out. And then when you do, people are like, look at this fucking guy doing something stupid. It's like, what do you want? You don't like shit, you gotta stir the pot a little bit, but it does get kind of futile posting for same 9 fucking people giving pity likes when you want to like do stuff and create stuff. It becomes annoying.
The biggest problem with that is the only reason that only 9 likes, like we got thousands of followers and Facebook will let us know generously, hey, your post was seen by 15 people.
Mm-hmm.
But it could have been seen by 20,000 if you gave us some cash.
Right? They want you to sub right now. It's crazy.
And it's like, but wait a minute. I have all these people who already like me that want to see it, but you're not letting them see it unless I give you money. That don't make no sense.
It's like that. It's like that with eBay now too. For a substitute fee when you post, you can promote your post for like 11% of the sale. And you're like, what the fuck am I doing? You're already getting 13%. And it's like that with social media too. You have to, if you have a narrative that you want to push, that you think you can make money off of, you ain't it for free. That's just not work like that. Instagram was great because when I started selling vintage, I was selling this shit on Instagram, and people would, you would just hashtag it, vintage, vintage. And back in 2014, people were using hashtags. People don't use those things anymore. You could follow hashtags now, but it's not like social media was different. It was like there was more like search engine capability of like, you know, you could find shit you wanted to find. Now it's like you can't even open it without a video playing at max volume, right? Which I hate. It's like I don't even go on like the Instagram feed anymore. I don't see anyone's shit that that they post because I used to deal with like having it be 8 videos in a row, like choose if I want you to play a volume at me. You know, I don't want it to be like right away. It's like that TikTok thing. Are you guys post TikTok too or no? Oh.
I have TikTok, yeah.
I don't monkey with that. No.
Deluxe edition has a TikTok.
You don't really use it, or you kind of
occasionally
use it?
I'll post like
Casey on TikTok.
Yeah.
Funny.
Well, it's deluxe edition. We have a TikTok for this, and like for the podcast, we can do like 30-second clips that I'll post on Instagram and
you just
TikTok
ship it to everywhere. Facebook, Instagram.
Actually,
TikTok.
the one TikTok that I posted on there, like I wouldn't say it blew up, but it got like more fucking likes and listens than a lot of other shit that I ever posted. And it was when Ray and I, our guest didn't show up a couple weeks ago, and we talked about like us doing drugs and the wild times that we've had. And it was a story that I told about taking mushrooms at a Bob Dylan concert. And
I listened to that one. Those are the ones I like. I don't to JB Slacker. I don't offend that guy, but I don't really talk to him. I like when you guys talk to each other. Those are the funny podcasts.
A lot of really good feedback on our chats.
On your I know I got up to find that t-shirt and immediately came alive. I should just let him go for the rest of the thing. These poor guys sitting through me hacking through a conversation, and all they want to do is talk about cool stuff they already know.
You know how long it takes to write this show every week? You know, our writers are in a room for hours on end coming up with this shit.
Oh man, Jay Leno could never, right?
Yeah,
that's so funny.
I went to see this. I just found out this. Like, I always forget that like these famous people that we watch on TV every week, like they're not doing this like just off the top of their head like this. Like it's they have writers and shit. And the one fucking comedian I saw last week, I found out he was a writer for Letterman for years.
Who was that?
His name was. All I know is his Instagram
Slacker.
is Paul has a website.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that before.
Paul Morrissey, I think his name is.
Yeah, there's a lot of like meme makers who are writers for comedians too, which is kind of funny. I mean, it's like the dream basically. People who make memes are most of the time like too pussy to go stand up and do jokes, but it's not necessarily the same type of humor. But yeah, there's a lot of writers where I'm like, damn, that person had a lot of cool jobs that I never realized before.
Right. Yeah, like we this was going back a long time ago. We talked to Robert Wool. He was a writer for Rodney Dangerfield. And like Rodney Dangerfield, one of the most famous comics ever. Like you would never I never thought that he would have a writer.
Oh my God. You hear all the stories about how they work out material and pay the comedians to sit in the back, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but Dangerfield, at some point, man, you got to run out of material.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt to bring in a couple of your buddies to help you out a little bit, man.
Yeah, because he was like the king of the one-liners, right? It was all just mainly one-liners that he would do.
So famous too, and he's just like so old the whole time he was famous. Like he wasn't that famous when he was young, right? It took him like a while,
forever.
Yeah. Those movies. Oh my God. My dad and his buddies' like favorite movie was back, and all I can remember is like my dad being like, pool or pond? Pond be good for you, you know, like doing the fucking the candy bar scene in the pool and shit all the time. Dangerfield so good.
It's not so bad.
It's so funny.
Earlier you mentioned like famous vintage people. Like there's like people like that they trust. Like we have American Pickers now. Like everyone, you know, is familiar with that show. And then maybe people aren't as familiar with this show. It was a Netflix show, and he's a friend of yours that you became friends with on Instagram, I believe. Slobby Robbie.
Do you know Slobby Robbie? You should get him on here. You should interview Slobby.
I watched the show. I remember it was
Did
called
you?
Slobby's World. It was on Netflix, right?
Oh, Ray, you poor thing. They took it off. You'll probably never be able to see it. I feel
I'll
bad for
find
you.
it.
You will turn it off in 2 seconds. It's so funny. Yeah, it's just like what was it? Like what's the store? The Pawn Stars or whatever. It's like Pawn Stars of vintage. He's so funny, man. I was kind of mad at him though, because I was like, it was 2 or 3 years ago, maybe longer now, I guess. But I was like, dude, you're telling like every fucking mom in every living room across the country, like, because every scene would be like, I paid $3 for this and I'm gonna sell it for $800. It's like every scene. It would be like, dude, chill the fuck out. Like,
Well, it's the same thing they do on American Pickers. It's like they're screwing everyone that watches the show. I mean, you could watch the show and be like, dude, you fucking only paid $6 for this. Why should I give you $75 for it?
there's so much content like that on YouTube and TikTok, like thrifting for and like people who wear like to yard sales and shit. And a couple of my friends in this one group chat are like, we do all this shit, but we lean more to like the negative side of like making fun of all fucking nerds who are wearing body cams to yard sales and like making content of it. It's like body cam picker man, it's just funny. They take it very seriously. Like, and you look at some of those YouTube videos and they have like million views. So want to see it, but people who do it, I can't imagine people who resell watching those videos in earnest and being like, yeah, this is great. This is great content. I'm really happy. I saw this. I'm really proud of that guy. I see that shit and I'm like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, it would have seemed like doing this shit would have been way easier before like the internet, where you could hit a garage sale, and like you said, people didn't know what the fuck they even had.
I mean, you still can, but it's rare now,
Yeah, you got to find somebody living by themselves, like that crazy Unabomber in a shed somewhere who doesn't go on the internet. He's like just mailing shit to people.
That's
You're like, hey, what you got in that shed, buddy?
So there's like a whole like subculture of this, and it's like people who hunt like abandoned houses, which is a lot of people do it for like YouTube and shit, but there's a lot of people who are doing it just to find like shit we could resell, and they're like risking their life going fucking bandos. Like I have some friends in Florida, right? And Florida, it's like never fucking cold, so you never know like who's living in that shit, and they're just like junkied out, needles everywhere, climb around. He'll come up to like an shit all grown over and be like, hello, anyone home? Just looking for clothing, and like walk in, waiting for like a junkie zombie to like jump out and just do something. He'll put it on his story, and a bunch of people do that and find a lot of good shit. But at what point are you trespassing, breaking, and entering? Like,
Right.
you have to draw the
stealing?
line. It might look abandoned to you, just their fucking roof cave in, but I'm sure somebody somewhere owns it, So
Technically, they're probably happy that you're cleaning that shit out of their place before they try and flip it.
Right.
That was another. Do you remember that whole thing where everybody was going to flip houses a while back?
That was TLC.
Yeah.
I blame TLC.
Yeah, where everybody was like, dude, I know what we can do so we don't have to work. We'll flip houses.
So
and I would
funny.
say, do you know how fucking hard that is?
Yes.
Do you know
Like-
plumbing and electrical and all that shit?
Yeah, but before all that, like, let me see your credit score. Like, you're not flipping houses with 80 credit score. Everyone thinks whatever they see people. It's not like that. You need money to do shit.
Right.
I wish I could flip houses, but on the level where I do any of the work, obviously.
Yeah, you just
Pay other people to do it 20%. That's why I don't fucking do it.
yeah, it's a lot of fucking work. All right, buddy, we're coming towards the end of our hour here. I did get some fan questions for you.
Oh geez, did you?
Yeah,
How many?
and
Ask you, what's your average story views?
Which are
Like on
average
Instagram,
story views.
like when you post a story, don't pretend like you don't know. You know.
Yeah, I went because it's
Oh.
not much. It's
I'm
like
sorry.
less than 50.
No, is it that bad?
Yeah.
That's like, and when you have like a good day, what does it get up to, like 200-300?
Not even close, dude.
Really?
It's never been
Damn.
that high.
And
we
you
have
still-
like we have close to 4,000 followers.
God bless you.
You know what?
Post.
You know what the most liked post I've ever done on Instagram?
Yes, I was going to go into this earlier when you guys were talking about this.
This
is ridiculous.
It's just a random picture of that Milani chick from the AT&T commercials with her tongue sticking out. I have almost 900 likes on just that random picture. And all it says is, underneath it, I put, here's Milani waiting to get some popcorn.
That's it.
That's it.
That's great.
Anything I put effort into and shit that I make and post gets 4 fucking likes. This thing's just a random picture of a girl with her tongue sticking out, and I get almost 900 likes.
Oh, they don't want to see something you put effort in.
No, fuck no.
Dude, and talk about effort. Ray, on his Instagram page, every single day, multiple posts of like happy birthdays, this day, in
movie,
history,
this album,
this movie
this
came out,
shit.
this TV show came out, and like I've always wanted to ask you, how do you make those? Because it's like
I have a
find the
template.
picture.
I have a template. I just have to drag the picture behind it, put the name on it, and boop, off it goes. I learned a long time ago, if you custom make each one, you will lose your fucking mind. So you have to have templates. You got to drag and drop that shit.
Man,
I
can't
custom
tell
make
you.
everything.
Fuck
Dude,
that.
some of the memes get so intense where it's like, and I don't have like any fancy I'd be making them on. I just do it on my Instagram story mostly. So you're like cutting pictures out and then zooming them in and placing them. It can be so tedious. And then
Dude,
some of the ones are worth it, but
how many times have you done? Because I've done that also, like where you're trying to get a name, like where you tag somebody and you put their name over the picture, and then you
it jumps behind it.
you accidentally click the picture and the fucking
my
name
God.
disappears. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, like copying people's shit. When I see like a really funny something, I know I can like spin it in a way. I'll just like my story, with the little arrow, and then I'll put my like shit over it. And if you click it the wrong way, it all goes away. It makes me so bad. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. But damn, 50 story views. I feel bad for you, man. You start paying them. You got to give them $3 a month or something. I don't know. Some days when I'm in like a good beef with someone, at like 2, 3, 5,000 story views. Nothing's going on.
right,
It'll be like 100 maybe, and then they'll like make it 500 for a day. It's so weird.
All right, we're not ending this just yet. A few more things just popped into my fucking head. So, I have to get to my T-shirt, and then, but this.
Oh yeah.
Talking about the story views and Instagram and all this stuff. So, Ray, I don't know how long ago, months ago, weeks ago, I get a notification that I've been added to a group chat on
fancy.
Instagram.
Yeah,
and it's by my friend Arsenio Hall or Turnpike James 1.2, one of the two. And I was like, I messaged him back, what is this? He's like, 35 people just paid me $5 to be in this group chat.
Dude, that one that I got, I think it was like up being like 50 or 60 people paid $5 to be in it to the end. It was crazy, but it was like the meme page. Like, I'm not like the only Arsenio Hall. I have like 3 friends and we have a group chat and like make the memes too. But I don't take memes from anybody else. It's like you have to be part of the group, So I saw these weed meme guys, like the big major weed guys on Instagram who have like the biggest weed mages and they have like the best connection. They did this fucking group where they added me to it, and there was like 50 people in it, and I had no idea what was going on, but it was the coolest fucking thing like ever, because it created like a brand. Like how lame the Instagram feed is. You know, I don't want to see this bullshit. I don't want to see this bullshit. That fucking chat, that weed chat went on 24 hours a day for like a week, and I was like, I'm doing this too. That's too fucking cool. It was crazy because from all over the world, well, all over the country, most like some other people in there from all over the world, like would be talking, and you could go in there at any time of day and see like, you know, so many people. So I'm like, hey, let me do that. So I tried it, and it was pretty cool. I should have added Ray too, but I didn't at the time. He would have been like, fuck this shit here. So many people left right away because they didn't know what was going on.
It got so crazy. Like I muted it for a long time. You
had
like,
to. Yeah.
Just gets, because it's constantly just people posting their stuff, like the content that they want you to see.
Oh my God. It was, like,
but it was good shit. It's so like mostly it's funny shit.
It was crazy. I got the this dude, Hetty Clocks. He runs like a in Philly. He's like pretty good dude at weed. He started that shit, and I was like, I gotta put my own spin on it. And then we just started doing like weird bits within the chat and adding in like famous people and shit, and then adding in like people like known adversaries and doing like crazy bits with it. It was pretty fun. I don't know, what was your experience? You said you muted it, so
I muted it for a while, but like, you know, when I would check in on it, it was fun, and like the bits and stuff that you guys were doing with other people, and you would add fucking like Kanye or somebody like that, like just random people on Instagram, like hoping that they would join in on the chat.
People cutting in Vintage Minor and then removing quick, and I don't know what ever happened, but that's that Casey has on is inspired by this guy.
Yeah, let's talk about Grail City, because I don't even know where like
I have to ask you.
I like all of your memes. I like everything. I don't know what any of it means. Like you
just a good supporter.
I love you, man.
Thanks, bud. Love you too. I like your stuff, but I don't genuinely like it either. Now that we got that out of the way. I'm like Darbos, the fuck, whatever. Just like it. Casey's trying hard.
Let's talk about Grail City. So what is this? And on the back of the shirt it says staff.
It's just that's like there's a person who named his apartment Grail City, has so many vintage t-shirts in it, and he takes like pictures of himself in front and he holds up these signs, and they'll be like, just because you spent a lot on an old t-shirt doesn't mean you know about fashion. So he's like naturally someone me and my friends like to cyber bully, to the point where we made like merch copying, like using the name of like his secret apartment stash of vintage t-shirts. In the beginning, I don't know, 2 years ago or whatever, when we started making memes, he was like liking them and stuff, and he's like a 4,000 follower account. He's not like a real important person, but if you scroll Instagram, you'll see him because he like does this all the time, you know, pays or whatever. So everyone knows who he was. And we started picking on him, and then as soon as we made like one joke about him, he blocked us. So it's like my mission for him to like get in on the joke, like wear one of those shirts, but never do it. He's like too proud. Kind of sucks. Like, I don't want to be a bully in the way where I'm like mad at anyone. I just want to make fun of you, and then just like let it, like WWF, you know. I don't care.
Yeah, it's a work.
It definitely is. I mean, I get a little worked up, but I'm pretty calm about it now. I don't really get in too many Instagram fights anymore. But
I was following one of your fights last week or a couple weeks ago. You were going back and forth with somebody about something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but that shit is entertaining because you just fucking school people.
That's what I want. I don't want to like fight anyone for real. I just want to make them feel like shit on the internet so they know like who's funnier. You know, that's it. That's it. Now I have like a weird band of a bunch of assholes who actually think I'm funny and enable me. This is terrible. No, it might be like 100 ever, but those 100 people like enough to make me want to make, just because they're such assholes. You know, it's like you make a joke and then all of a sudden you see someone's response to it, and it's like 10 darker than the joke you were making, and you're like, holy shit, like, this is crazy. You know, you can go anywhere with it. Yeah, I don't know. Grail City is like a just a little bit we do. The idea was to like take his entire thing and make it like a secret but real place. Like one of the dudes made a fucking actual location on Google Maps, like made like a whole fake town, started like making these like fake businesses on like the local Google business shit, all for like this town of Grail City, somewhere in Kentucky or something. I forget. Troll this guy like real hard, but he's above it.
Does anyone personally know him?
Yeah, he's a creep. He like tried to be like a real vintage person. He only started in like 2019 or whatever.
Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, I know it was after you.
Yeah, and there's like a gatekeeping aspect to vintage. You know, like people who started pandemic hate people who start around the pandemic because those fuckers ruined everything. You know, it's like
right.
There's many more people now. So he tried to like be out, and he's out there. I have some friends who have actually been to his apartment, which is crazy, like to do trades and stuff. The one guy was tapping it for me, and I'm like, I'm going too far. Like, I'll just take funny pictures of his third bedroom, like stacks of t-shirts, plushies and shit. I don't need like 3D rendering. Like, this isn't Ghost Con. This is crazy. Some of these take it way too far. They're like hate these people, and they think because I make jokes, I'm like their safe haven to like talk about wanting to murder people. And I'm like, yo, I don't just because I'm making a joke about you to hate you, right? Casey, I make a joke every time I see you, a bunch of them. So I don't hate you, but
a lot of them.
Yeah, people
for many years.
It's weird. People can't separate that. They think they're like, oh, he's such a, and I'm like, I'm not a hater because I love it. I think it's hilarious. Like, I don't hate it at all. I don't view you idiots. Give me all the content to make jokes, you know?
It's great, man. Keep it up. You're doing great.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Uncle.
Casey's just trying to be professional here, like he treats all our guests. You know, that's the same thing he said to, like, you know.
Oh no,
Bo.
Ever
he's like, hey,
what?
Bo, you're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Did you say that to Bo Svensson? Oh my god!
I was just talking to Barbara about this the other day. She was asking something about Ray, and I said, "Oh, it was something about your son," and I said how old he was, and I said during our interview with Bo that he gave him the finger.
He did.
It's so funny because like Ray's son will occasionally pop into the screen, and
how old
like
is he?
10.
Oh, pretty funny because age matters. I know if he was like 23 coming in and giving if he was like 4 years old, you know.
Yeah, that was his new shtick that week.
Middle
like
finger.
he was really into knowing, you know, how to do it right, and
that's funny.
Yeah.
it's funny. I don't remember where I was going with that, but we do have a couple fan questions here, and they're pretty funny.
Oh yeah, sorry. That I railed you because I wanted to know how many of my people ask questions, which I can't imagine.
3.
There, exactly.
Just
edit that part out.
Second Planet Vintage. Do you have any favorite sexy time moves?
He probably asked all 3 questions, didn't he? He's funny. He's one of my favorite people. I added on group chat because he needs an outlet, right? So every time I open it, it's just all him and nobody responds. I feel bad. Well,
he also said Urban Dictionary hot dogs salad. You're welcome.
He told me this story about how he used to go over to his friend's house and secretly eat this candle, right? Like eat pieces of this candle. He said he ate like so much of the candle to the point where the friend's mom was like, "What the fuck is with this candle?" Right? It was like the candle from their wedding day, like on their wedding day. And as a teenager, he would go over and eat it, just straight eat a stranger's candle. He's a funny fucking guy.
What? Wait, he was eating wax.
Yeah. Great story. He's a great storyteller. Oh my god. So
All right.
funny. That was it.
This isn't a question. It's a comment from Taste of Paper. Maybe you have hopefully you have a fun story about them.
No,
they
it
just
says,
say
D's nuts.
D's nuts. Yep.
Yep, I knew it did. That's his bit. He responds to every single thing and it says D's nuts. And he thinks it's funny. And if he likes it, whatever. I like it. It's great.
I got a chuckle out of it.
You liked it?
I always do.
I'm desensitized to D's nuts.
We have 2 from Slobby Robbie, and this is why I brought this up. Slobby
Okay.
Robbie.
Okay. Wait,
fat
what?
chicks or black bricks?
I don't know what that means. Slobby is on a different fucking planet. I'm not answering that. I'm pleading the slob fifth. I have no idea what that means.
All right.
Yeah. There's no good answer there.
No, there's not. One more from Slobby. Do you consider yourself more of a hair guy or a beard guy?
Oh my god. You know, every day is different. Some days I'm like, oh, the humidity's great, my hair is looking wonderful, and then other days I can't really see. Casey, you have like a beard where it looks like you're trying. Ray, you don't have any beard, do you?
No, facial hair itches the fuck out of my my face.
You got hair though. I like your hair.
Yeah, I got my hair back.
Oh, damn, that's a great question. Probably hair. Well, no, it's a package deal. You can't really tell, but it's a package deal.
Now, quite honestly, before the show started, you did groom the beard, but not the hair. So I would have to lean towards you're more of a beard guy.
God, you got me. I guess there's a question for me. I didn't even that. And it was so subliminal. I think because I wanted to see how it looked on screen.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. Sometimes it looks like it's all like pushed to one side, you know. So it's very low light down here. It's just me and my Betty. That's it.
Are you in the basement?
Yeah.
We have one more question from my girlfriend Barbara. She would like to know, why are you covering your handsome face with all of that hair?
Very good point too. It's like a social deterrent, basically. It's like I can't afford to finish the one side of the fence in my backyard, so I just grow the beard real long. So it's like a that prevents, like, people don't necessarily find my look inviting, which is something I like. I'm kind of going for, I've been married for so long, I don't want to not be married. I'm like not trying to look hot, and I guess I should probably harder for her sake, but I kind of have a look going. I'm this look.
So you think that by shaving your beard that you would just immediately, like, women would just start flocking to you and you would have to divorce Jenna?
No, I don't think that. Is that what I said? Oh my god, I didn't mean that at all. That's funny, but it will happen. There's nothing about it. It's gonna happen. When I shave, I bet you I could shave like years off, because I kind of have like not so much now. We're like 40 plus now. We don't really have baby face anymore. But I mean, you look pretty good. You pretty much look adequate for your age. Right?
That's a great compliment.
Right? He doesn't. I think you look like you're about the average looking 40-year-old dude ever. Right? You're not like, there's nothing like, you're not fat. You're not ugly. You're like a great slice of pizza. How old are you, Ray?
I'm 50.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Does it get easier?
Fuck no. Just gets worse.
We're right behind.
Dude, I was laughing when I was editing our show from last night. Fucking, I'll say this: Todd Sheets did not show up again last night. Zach
double booked Todd Sheets, and he stood you up.
Yeah, so he's
That
rescheduled
motherfucker.
again.
That's
He'll
son
be-
of a bitch. And you rescheduled it again. This
Yeah,
is so okay.
technic-
So this is a perfect opportunity for you to request some memorabilia for his appearance. It's like we put in 2 of our hours for you, Todd Sheets, and you haven't shown up. So we're gonna require who is he? Is he an actor?
Director.
All right.
He could send me a signed Clownado poster. I'd be all in on that.
Clown Nate, is that his?
Fuck yeah, he did that movie.
That's cool.
He's done a bunch of cool movies.
Dude, but I was laughing so hard last night, Ray. This goes to something that you just said. I don't remember exactly what it was, but editing our episode last night that we recorded, we were talking about how people look so different from like a generation ago. Like people our age in the 50s looked a lot older than we do. And I said to Ray, like, what do you think happened? And he goes, I think life just took him and beat the fuck out of him.
I don't think wrong.
That's not wrong.
You know,
So
out of all of
fucking
us,
funny.
Casey, you look like you could seamlessly slide into the 50s. You definitely look if you like trimmed it up a little, because I see what you wear when you town. You always got your Hager Dockers on or whatever the fuck kind of pants you're wearing. You got your tucked in button down t-shirt. It's so funny. Hair is always done nice, and you're always fucking arm in arm with some random celebrity. It's funny.
It's called business casual.
Oh my god! You handed them your deluxe edition. Do you have cards for the podcast?
I have
that you hand out?
no, I have. It's so easy. Check this out.
Will you just like here, tap my hack everything they have?
People say, how can I listen? How can I find your podcast? After I say I have a podcast, all you have to do is scan my wallet.
Oh,
That's
a sticker.
That's way easier what I've been doing. I got a black marker and I write deluxeedition.com on their arm.
Don't wash it until next week. You're never gonna believe what Todd Sheets says. Oh, funny.
Oh fuck!
Advertising is the hardest part.
Yeah.
You have pretty many YouTube subscribers. I saw you guys have what, like 1,500 or something.
Yeah,
That's
almost
harder to
2,000.
get.
We're creeping on 2,000.
That's awesome. It's way more than Instagram. Instagram will just like wasteland. It's like Pinterest for assholes, pretty much.
Well, I heard somebody it was a comedian. I can't remember who it was. It might have been like Ari Shafir or like one of those guys that like Tom or Bert's friends. They said something like, if you're working for the algorithm, you're doing it wrong, or you know what I mean? Like
You're like one of those fucking stupid Instagram reel inspirational quotes with like 3 million likes. You just it's like that's exactly like what's wrong with Instagram. Yeah, this is so bad. But unless you're gonna get no views, you know, there's no like. Then you might get lucky if you like use a trending audio, you know, because you see those dumb ones where like a mom's like filming their kid doing nothing or whatever. And I don't know how much you're scrolling Instagram, but it's weird to see like what they get 100,000 likes. You know? But then you go to that person's page and they got fucking followers. Like it doesn't mean shit. No one's gonna follow you. They'll like it because it's easy, but it's hard to engage with people unless you're beef.
Or you
got to start beef.
Or you'll go to one of those posts that have like that has like 1 million likes or whatever, and then their other posts don't have shit. Like Ray's post of the chick waiting for popcorn.
Yeah.
Like 909. It's a drastic drop off.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like and then Instagram's nice enough to point out that everything else I do doesn't do as well.
Oh, do you have it set to creator so you can see all the ins and shit?
Yeah, so they can belittle me on a monthly basis about how my content sucks. Yeah,
it's so toxic. I like on and then I turn it off because when you don't have it on, you lose a lot of capability too. Like I see if I turn it off, then my fucking views go in the shithole. I'm not making a lot of money off it, but you know, at some point it would be nice to be able monetize joke writing in a way. I just don't know if that's the of whatever I'm doing on Instagram or not. Open to it, and you ain't fucking open to it unless you have it set to creator or whatever. It sucks. 10K. You have to have 10K to be able to monetize and do like go live and get people to buy badges and stuff.
On Instagram.
But yeah, and then because on my personal page I have that because of our old shop page, so it's like 10K, even though I don't know who the fuck those followers are. It's not like it's a real 10K. I never remember anything. They're people, but I don't know who the hell they are. But they sent me a thing and like you can go live and monetize and do all this. I met like all the requirements plus the 10K followers, and I was like, you guys are such dickheads. Why isn't it 20K? Isn't it 5K? Yeah. Why isn't it 50K? What the fuck does 10K mean? So like set. I got this idea. My meme page has to get 10K, even though it doesn't mean shit. But
it's the same with YouTube. I mean, like,
yeah,
you know, I had this argument so many times with my other host of the show prior to Ray jumping on board.
Lord Voldemort?
Yes.
He who will let me named.
He was always, arguing with me about why we were putting so much effort into the YouTube show. And it's like, well, we're not making any money on the audio version, but YouTube has the potential to make money. Like, you have to have the requirements for YouTube are 1,000 subscribers and you need 4,000 hours of watch time. And like after our first interview with Mark, we hit that fucking number. You know what I mean? It was like we were there, and like we've made money on YouTube now. We've made zero money on Spotify or iTunes or anything like that. So like, why wouldn't I put the effort into the YouTube channel?
YouTube's strange too. I see like people making videos how they make money on YouTube, and then one girl was like 9 million views and I made $30 off this one, but I got 20 million views and I made 36 grand off this one. I'm like, how do you make 36 grand off a YouTube video? It's crazy.
It's all because of the watch time. Like the longer people watch, and if they'll let the ads, like the ads that will play during the video. Like the longer those ads play during your, like while we're talking here, if I take a small break, YouTube might pop an ad in. And if someone doesn't skip that ad, the longer that ad plays, the more money we make.
Yeah, I mean, I know how it works. I'm just saying it's hard to get that. The conversion rate is not easy. Thanks for the detailed explanation. Did you tell that? Did you tell that to Ray? No. That's so funny. We were like talking on. I had him on with my friend, and we were using this, and I'm like, "How if I use this clunk 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 clunk?" In case he's like, do you guys like people take stuff and then they put it on Amazon and they sell it? We're like, my friend Matt was like, that's called e-commerce. It was so funny. It was really like a deadly. It was funny.
It was very funny. So Zach,
be there.
Zach, Turnpike James, Arsenio Hall, whatever the fuck I'm supposed to be calling you right now.
I don't care. Call me whatever you. Well, my name is. I just don't know how to explain it. It's not like James isn't my name.
Well, that's the thing. Like growing up, I never knew you as James, and then I'm like, I find out that your real name is James.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I never had a choice. My parents just act as my middle name, and then when you're like. You get to a point where you're like a professional and you have to like explain your name like a fucking child. I just got kind of sick of doing it. And then I just made my Instagram page, and Turnpike Zach is like the dumbest name ever. Who the fuck? That's like so stupid. So I was like, whatever, Turnpike James now. And then what am I going to do? Every single person. Because on Instagram, I was like meeting and selling a lot of shit like all the time, trying to like be someone who did that for a living until I did. And then I'm going to be like, oh, by the way, my name is Zach, like whatever. So I just now everyone I know in real life before Instagram calls me Zach. My family does, wife does, but like everyone from Instagram past calls me James. So I'm conflicted. I don't know. Whatever. Still the same person.
It's fine, man. I use multiple names all the time.
Right. Whatever personality I'm feeling.
Right. That's what it is.
Where did the Turnpike come from?
Oh my God. We're like recording music in one friend's basement, and then I said about like, I don't know, it was like a stupid line about being on a dirt bike or whatever. I was like something Turnpike James, and then he was like, we were laughing, and he was like Turnpike James, and I was, that's cool. And then that was it. I didn't give it myself, which is actually like, because before that, I think I had like Dirt Bike James on there, and then he was like, it should be Turnpike James, and I was like, thank God someone gave me a nickname.
All right, tell us about, so while we were getting started here, I asked you about your Hateful Eighth banner.
Oh yeah, it was just like it was just super heavy for the hangers. It felt, I was like, oh fuck, whatever. Sitting over there.
You're going to be starting a podcast very soon. As far as I know, you already have some recorded.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what the hell is all this bullshit for. It's like some days I don't know how you guys go into it every week. Like some days this is the greatest thing ever. I'm so hyped, and then other days when I'm like, this is so stupid. Why am I doing? So
that's typical podcasting. That's normal. like 3 hours ago, I was punching a fucking wall going, the last thing I want to do is sit in front of that fucking camera tonight.
Oh my God. I didn't really feel like it either, so I feel bad for you.
Then,
I apologize. Casey broke you into this shit.
But then, all the crew is back there with the cameras.
Let them down. People have,
and I can't let them down.
These people have families.
Yeah, I can't let little Jimmy go to bed without getting his fucking dinner. That's not going to be on my conscience.
So funny. Poor Ray's like used to talking to celebrities like Edley Jr. and then you got him going 2.5 hours deep with your boy.
I told Casey, because he keeps sending me messages. Do you want to interview this person? And I keep saying yes. I'll interview a kid that you find on the street selling fucking shoes on the corner. Just schedule them. I don't care who it is.
Find something to talk about.
Right? I just want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Just send me the schedule. Jesus Christ.
Well, brother, I think you should start a podcast. You sent me a very good little synopsis the other day for a show.
I already got bored about that. I don't want to do it.
Dude.
Kind of. I don't know how it goes. It's like, it would be great to have an intern. Let's just
tell me about it. Good luck.
I know.
You'll probably fucking get one before I do. Give us all your plugs, brother, where everyone can find you.
Oh, please don't find me. But if you want to look at memes that are niche kind of vintage clothing and some other stuff, you are Arsenio Hall on him. But it's HAUL instead of HALL. That's it. That's where you can find. And then you can find me on Deluxe Edition Podcast, where hopefully you chop this into like 6 minutes. I don't even want to see what my egged head looks like on your fucking final edit, your video. My chapped ass lips after 2 joints. Jesus Christ. Nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too.
All right, brother. I'll see you next week.
All right, later.
See you, buddy.